Tinovo and welcome to our online nail art class. So we're doing this design today and everything that I use is at www.tinovo.shop. Now let's get ready. So first we are going to do the eyeball spiders and the background is Moonlight Magnetic Cat Eye right here with a layer of blood shading gels right on top. You can use other shading gel or stained glass gel like stained glass gel number 14, which is a deeper red, but we are going for a bright true red tone. So that's why we're using blood shading gels. So apply Moonlight Magnetic Cat Eye onto the surface and we're gonna take our magnet. Go ahead and approach from the left. When you see a line right here on the left, you're gonna go into the other side and we want this glare to pull right to the direction of the magnet. Just like that. Make the whole nail bright up and clear. 60 seconds. This is blood shading gel. I use to shade like little blush tone every time that I do character painting. It is a true red. So when you apply over this surface, it will give you like a bright red. I'm gonna apply 2 thin layers. 2 thin layers is always better than 1 thick layers. Okay? Apply another layer here. Just like this. You can see that the red, it just got redder. It's not gonna get deeper. It should get redder right here. A true red shade. If you apply another coat, it wouldn't change much to the colors. Okay, now I'm gonna put the blood shading gel back and cure this for 60 seconds. So the spider, this black detail right here is going to be embossed, and the gel that we use don't need any top coat. Same with the eyeball right here. We're gonna do it separately and we're just gonna top coat only the eyeball. So after you keep done curing the red layers, you can go ahead and put on top coat because everything after that, it will be either embossed and doesn't need top coat or it will be top coat separately. So I am going to take out Sanded top coat and I'm gonna apply over this nail surface. Cure for 60 seconds. Alright. Now I'm gonna take out black texture gels. So black texture gel is responsible for all of this embossed detail. Embossed meaning 3D, lines that are not flat. It's have volume in it. So I'm gonna take this out right here onto my nail art palette. Scoop out just a bit, put it right here. And the brush that I am going to use will be a 10mm liners. And I'm going to put it right here. Press it in and twist from side to side just to load up the gels. You want it to be fanned out like this. And then when it fanned out, you go ahead and stroke it out to make it slimmer. And we are going to paint a spider legs right on here. So I'm gonna establish that this gonna be the body of the spiders. Go ahead and paint it in, and you don't need it to be embossed right now. You don't need to apply a lot of gel right now. You just paint like you normally would. And it's gonna have 2 legs right on the back. So I established that the eyeball gonna be right around here. Let me zoom in so you can see. The eyeball is gonna be right here. So don't put the legs too taper. Spread it out just a little bit so it can see the eyeball. can when you put the eyeball on it, it doesn't make the leg disappear. Okay, just like this. And then another segment of the leg. Just like this. And then the last segment, I wanted to, the tail, when I struck it to right here, the tail, I want it to be really pointy for the leg. Press, and I'm just slowly lifting my brush so it's get really pointy right here. And I'm gonna do another set of legs right next to it. Taper it out. Just like that, points out like that. And one more little segment right here. Okay, you can see that we are running out of room, but don't worry, because when you make it embossed, you're gonna see it very well. Just like this. And another set of legs right about here. Okay, and then another set of legs right here. Another segment. Okay, just like this. And then gonna press and pull it out. Press and pull it out. Then the last set of legs. One, pulling in. One more on the opposite side, and then add in another segment, just like this. Another one right here. Okay, now we are going to tilt it inward and press and pull it out. Same on the other side. Press and pull it out. Now we are going to keep it like this, but we're gonna switch brush. So the brush I'm gonna use now will be the emboss brush, because it's built thicker than the liner brush, so it can load more gels into it. Because what we're gonna do now, we're not gonna cure this. This is still wet. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna glide right on top of the wet gels, so we can add more gel into it. Now be gentle, just glide over it. That's it, just glide over it. Okay, a little more tricky on the last part of the legs, because when it ends, it's really pointy, so you don't need a lot of gel right on your brush. That's why I take a break. See, when I load gel into this part up here, I take a break and I make sure that I stroke my brush out so it's have minimum amount of gel. Then I come back and I hover right on top of it and I slowly drag it out with the tip of my brush, so it get really, really pointy. We're gonna do that on all of the leg on this side. Texture gel is non-cell level, so it's not gonna move on you. Perfect gel for building details. Not building big area, but building smaller detail like this is perfect. That's why I call it texture gel, because it's texturized. Okay, last one on this side. another one. Okay, another one on right at the end. See, I'm loading more gel in, but you see right now I have a lot of gel on my brush, so I'm kind of taking a break from it, and I'm stroking it out. When I come back, I don't have a lot of gel on my brush, so I just touch it lightly and drag it out. There you go. So now this side is thicker than this side. See the difference? So we're gonna do the same to the other sides. And the surface are typically very difficult to do emboss like this because it's a slippery surface. It's a shiny surface. However, the gel that we use in are non-cell level, so it doesn't slide very easy. That's why right now you still can see all the segment of the spider legs. If you use a typical builder gels, it will blend right back. But this is not a builder gels, it's a texture gel, so it stands still for you, all the details. Okay, fill it in. Okay. A little more on this side. Okay, now we're gonna go down here. Okay. Now, I am going to go ahead and cure this, but we're gonna put a rhinestone right in the middle of this. Okay, so if you have a lot of gel in the middle that make it bumpy, you shouldn't cure it right away. You just take a stone out, and we are going to put it right on top of this wet gel. Just press it in, because it's still wet, so it's not gonna be bumpy. Okay, now we're gonna cure this for 60 seconds. Now, when I put it on there like that, that is not to securing the stone onto the nail because it's gel, it's not glue, so it's not securing it. But I pressing the stone right into the flat, right into the bumpy surface and make it flat before I cured it. So after I cured it, I can just scrape that crystal out, put some glue in it, and the surface is now flat. I put some glue in it and I put the stone back in. But if I don't put the stone in right away before I cure, then after I cure, the surface will be bumpy. And that is going to be very difficult for the stone to be glued onto it. So see right now, when I scraping the crystal out, see that? Now the surface is nice and flat. Then you can glue the stone on and it's going to last forever. But if you don't do that first, then what happened is the surface just gonna be very difficult for the stone and it'll come up. So right now you already taken the crystal out. We are going to do the eyeball. We can put the crystal in and then do the eyeball, but we have to be careful so the gel doesn't cover the crystal. But we can do the eyeball first and glue crystal on later. I think that would be a wiser choice. So the eyeball is really big. We need something that can build really big, not texture gel, of course. Really big and smooth. Become a perfect circle. So this is clear Play-Dohs. And I can build it as big as possible. I can build this really high. It's completely solid. It's not even a gel that you can use with a brush. So I am gonna take our spatula and I am gonna scoop out just a bit of Play-Doh. You can touch it with your fingers. Okay. Ooh, I got a little bit right here. Okay. Now, I am gonna roll this bead. Let me put this back right here. So I'm gonna roll it. And I'm gonna just place it on the surface gently like this. Okay, it's already like a perfect circle already. It's so easy. So I'm gonna let it rest just a little bit on the surface so it can adhere to the surface. Okay. And I'm tapping it gently on the sides just so the circle can be perfect. I don't want it to be lopsided. It's very easy, just light touch like that. Now, I am going to go ahead and cure this 60 seconds. And then I am going to use white art gel to paint right on top of it. You can use pigment base like this one, but pigment base is a polish. So on an area where it have a really high wall all around it, you want something that's sort of anti-gravity, and polish is not anti-gravity. Polish is self-level. So art gel is a very smooth gel. It is cell level, but art gel is not a polish. It's a painting gel. So I can either use emboss brush or I can use coloring brush. And I'm gonna use a coloring brush since this requires me to get a little closer, a little more details. So I like a shorter brush for glazing and coloring small area like this. And art gel, you can just paint however you like to paint, but after you're done painting, it will be all smooth. So I love that about art gels. And I think that a great strategy will try to be painting on the surface first, just like that. Then you can go around, because now you don't even need to take more gels because you already have a lot of gel on the surface. You can just use one already on the surface and just slowly paint close to the edge like this. You see that? See, I didn't take up any more gels. I just sort of spread it out from the center or whatever it is near the edge. I use that to spread it out. Now I'm all done. Then I can cure 60 seconds. Let me close the lid of this gels. Now we are starting it out with a moonlight cat eye and a layer of blush gel onto these nails. So in doing that, the background is not black. Now when it comes to the eyeball, the iris right here, we're doing the same step, but this time we started out with a black background. So now you can see the difference. At this point, you can either use a black art gel to draw in a black circle, or you can use jet black. I'm gonna use jet black because jet black is a polish and the circle are pretty basic. So I don't need to use a gel paint. It's easier to just use a gel polish. And gel polish is much thinner than gel paint. And I'm using the same coloring brush, by the way. Just dip into some jet black gels and pull it out. And then we can just go right on here and draw circles. Make a perfect curve on one side. It can be bigger if you want. This brush is amazing when it comes to drawing something like this, which needed your brush to not be a line. A line will be difficult to draw this. But a brush that can soak up a lot of gels, like this brush, is make it really easy. Okay, so now my circle is not perfect, but I already have the size of the circle that I want. So now what I'm gonna do is I am just gonna take the brush that I already have. I'm not loading any more gels. Remember, you don't apply really thick when it comes to gel polish. So now I am gonna slowly making the edge more perfect, going really slow. Okay. Some of you might be really good at doing this. Depend on how you adjust a circle. Some of you might think that this is a perfect circle, and some might think that it's not a perfect circle. It should depend on how you look at it, on your perception. Okay. To me, it's still not perfect yet. But to some people, it might be perfect already. Just up to how picky you are. Okay. Okay. Okay, now I think it's 90% perfect. Okay, zoom it out. Now I'm gonna clear this. And we're gonna take Moonlight, Cat Eye, apply onto the black. Now this is gonna be faster. The black circle actually are semi-difficult to make it perfect on a white background. To look perfect on a white background because they are so contrast. But Moonlight Cat Eye, that's not a solid colors. That is a cat eye color, so it's gonna be very quick. I'm gonna take some and apply right onto the surface, just like this. Then we are going to magnetize this. I am removing some excess gel. I don't want a lot of gel on here. I don't want to make it like a big lump right on top of the circle, if you know what I mean. Then we're gonna magnetize it. You can even do this using the head, just doing that. Isn't that awesome? Like that. Here, 60-second here. And then you can apply red blood color shading gel right on here. Ooh, that look kind of cool, just like that. Gonna spread it out. Or you can just use a red cat eye. It just depends on you. Okay. Now we're gonna cure this 60 seconds. Then we are going to add in just a little bit of jet black right in the centers. Just like this small circle. Now, you see how awesome it is? And these nails, I do it differently. I use a ruby red, Queen of Heart. I use Queen of Heart gel for the red right here in the center on top of black. With this, I use Moonlight Magnetic Cat Eye and red shading gel. I think that this is brighter. The more I design, the more I gain experience on what layer I should, what kind of gel that I should choose. If I choose Queen of Heart, it's a solid red. So red and then black on top of it, it might not show up very well. I mean, it still look pretty cool and amazing. But if I choose Moonlight Cat Eye and then I choose blood shading gel, it's brighter somehow and it helps you see the black really easy. Now, you can go ahead and glue using Crystal Magic Glue, and you can go ahead and take out this graphite crystal right here where you just poured it out earlier, and you're gonna add in some glue onto this surface and pick up your crystal, apply, and then you want to press it down just a little bit just to make sure that it's flush against the surface. And you are done with these fingers. Now these fingers are just the same at this strategy. You just start out with a bloody cat eye background and then top coat it, and then use black texture gel to draw the spider web. And remember how I did it with the spider leg? I draw it out flat first. Then I'm adding gel right onto the wet, flat gels, and it add more volume to this gel. And you can cure it, and then you can do another coat right on top of the pre-existing one, right? Like this spider leg right here. It's already dry, and I can add more texture gel on this now to make it even more 3D if I like. But I'm gonna explain about this nail for you. So first, I'm gonna take our clear nails and my 10mm liners using just black to apply right here. And I am drawing some circle like this, and then some circle next to it, and one more right here. Now you can use that brush, the same brush, or you can use an embossed brush to fill it in. Like that. I think I might need more polish. We just go until we run out of it. Okay. Fill it all the way down. Starting on this side. Just like this. We might have enough. We might have enough gels. Okay, now the bottom part. Oh yeah. I'm so glad I didn't put out any more gels. Okay, perfect. Cure this. Then I am gonna take our Moonlight Magnetic Cat Eye, apply on the surface, and I'm gonna fill it into the little circle. Using the same embossed brush. That's why you can soak in more gel so you can paint faster. Okay, apply on just one circle. You want to magnetize this first and flash cure it, so you can lock it in place before you apply gels and magnetize the other circle. Okay. Cure this. And you don't even have to you don't even have to cure it for 60 seconds. You can just flash cure this for like 5 seconds, and then you can go ahead and do another circle. Now, the reason why I don't apply cat eye all over the nails, apply red all over the nail, and then do the black design. I do the oppositely. I do the black design first, and then I apply cat eye right into the circle right here, and then magnetize it individually. Why? Because the glare that I have right here is in the middle, and around this is this darkness that make it really contrasted. So if I paint the whole nails and magnetize it, you're not gonna have that contrast, because some of the dark part will be covered up by the black. Where this, it can be its own individuality piece of cat eye. And I think that make it a lot prettier. However, the other way is not a wrong way. It just is gonna maximize the look of the design. Gonna go ahead and magnetize it again. Here. Okay. Do it again. See how fast this is. Gonna go ahead and magnetize it. And okay, if you do it and it doesn't really look right like that, you see that? It doesn't look right. You should get a little closer to the nail like this. See, a little closer to the nail. It can be far away or a little closer. It's gonna change it. Just so you know. There. Just move around until it looks right. And you can take the whole nails. You can take blood gel and just apply right on the whole nail like this. Shading gel don't really show up on black background, so you save on the black. Go ahead and cure. And you're more than welcome to apply another coat if you like, so you can make it redder. This is a little light for the gels because it is a shading gel. Shading gel is for tone, not really for color like stained glass gels. But you can always apply 2 layers just like that. Go ahead and cure this. And we are ready for top coating. Because everything else, it will be either embossed or it doesn't need top coat. So I am going to take out the nails and apply 1 layer of top coat right on top. Here, 60 seconds. Okay, so we're done with top coats. Now, next step is black texture gels. You can either do that first, or you can do the part right in here where you clear embossed jelly to make it voluminous. So it's just up to you. Now, one thing I'm gonna show you is when I'm doing this nail set, I do the black frame first, okay? And then I'm going in with the big clear bead right here. But I encountered an issue. It's not a crazy issue, but what happened is when I put some clear jelly right in here, it's stuck to the black wall, and you know that if it's stuck there, it's gonna cell level and it's gonna flood it to the top of this black right here, and it's not gonna look as attractive. So what I have to do is I have to be really careful when I'm doing this, so I can have a little groove right here between the black and the clear. It because when I'm being careful, I don't touch the black, but see, that is very tedious. So I'm thinking that this time I'm gonna do this jelly first, and then I'm gonna take the black and I'm gonna draw around the jelly. That way I can see the difference between the step of my design, just to see if it helped that problems. And I think it will. This is clear embossed jelly. Okay, I'm gonna just do that so the gel can go right, it can condense right down to the bottom here, and all the air go back up here so there is no bubbles. Take it out. Then let's squeeze it on a palette first, because sometimes you see a little bit of bubble blowing out. So I'm squeezing it out on the palettes first. Everything is fine. So now I'm gonna go in here, squeeze just a little bit out, and I'm gonna use a head to trace around the perimeter of the design here. I'm gonna trace just around it. Okay, now whenever I completely fill up this area, then I'm gonna make it bulky. I'm gonna add a lot of gel, preferably stay right in the center, squeezing out gel, okay, and pull it back out so it disconnects. Now we're gonna wait. We're gonna wait until it's guiding itself out, because it's cell level, so it's gonna guide itself out. You can touch it lightly to sort of maneuver, finesse the shade. When you're happy, you can cure. You don't have to cure 60 seconds, but you don't want to cure just 3 or 4 seconds, because sometimes the bottom of the jelly is not flash sealed yet. It can spill a little bit of gel out, and you don't want that. So make sure you cure for a good 10 seconds, and you have this. Look at that, how beautiful it is. It's like a magnifying glass. Magnifying glass. It's embrace the texture of the cat eyes. Just like that. Disconnected. You can twirl around just for it to help it disconnect from the gels. Wait for it to settle and cure. About 10 seconds. And we have one left right down here. Okay, fill it up. There you go. Wait for it to settle and go ahead and put it in the machine. Full cure for 60 seconds now. So for the outline, I can just be like the spider or the web where I use texture gels to going around this, but I want to go crazy. I want to build it really, really thick. Since this circle right here around the bead, the red bead, it is a simple, basic circle, and it's not even perfect. It's not like the spider where it's really, really detailed. So I can make it really, really thick all in one swoop. I don't even have to double layer it. But you see, if I use black texture gels, I need to dilute it. I have this white, this clear texture gel right here. It don't have any colors. I can put out a little bit of clear texture gels right here. And then 50% of it will be black. That way, the black is not very potent, so it's clear all the way. Doesn't matter how high you put it. Now, when you mix the black into the clear, the black is going to be semi-transparent, meaning it's not going to be like a solid black. It's going to be like a sheer black like this. See, it can be sheerish like this. But that is not a problem because we want to build really, really high, right? So if you want to build really, really high, then the color is okay for it to be a little sheerish because when it's really, really high like this, it's a solid black. It's only sheer whenever it's thin, but you're not going to apply it thin. You're going to apply it thick. So I'm going to use the emboss brush and I'm going to go around this first, the littlest bead right here. I'm going to go around it. Doesn't matter which one. I'm just pick and choose. Okay. Just like all the steps that we do before with 3D, always start out with a little amount just to see where you're going first. Then you can go back and you can apply a lot on. Just like this. Now, this is non-cell level gels, meaning it's not gonna blend out. You can do all 3 beads at the same time like this, but I'm not gonna do it because it's gonna be really, really big. So it might touch each other, and when it touch, it's not gonna blend like crazy, but it's gonna look like it's fusing into each other, and you don't want that. So I'm gonna cure this. You don't have to cure 60 seconds, just a few seconds. And normally something that are thick and super black, you don't want to cure for 60, you don't want to cure it for just 3 or 4 seconds because then it's not going to cure correctly. And the outside will be cured, inside still be wet, and it's going to wrinkle up on you. But you see, this is not super black, this is sheerish. So the light penetrated very well. So if you cure for about 5 seconds, it's doable, with the exception that there is clear mixing into this black, so it's not super black. If it's super, super black, then you don't want to do that because it's not going to be cured correctly. So knowing the material that you put on, knowing the its limit. So now I'm going to work on this circle up here. I'm not going to worry because it is temporarily cured already. Don't touch it though. If you touch it, it might not be shiny. You want to wait for it to be full cure so it can be super shiny. Okay, going around the bead. Okay, now I'm gonna add it in. And you know, when you add it in, let me zoom in so maybe you can see this one really, really clear. You just hover on top of it. You don't press any pressure. Just apply a lot of gel, see? I have a lot of gels and it's stringing down. So I'm just touching the line lightly like this and I'm just going hover right on top of it. See, I touch in the other frame just a little bit, but it doesn't cause me any issue because it's already clear. I do that whenever I work with tedious area that have like a lot of tiny little detail that are really close to each other. Sometimes I, even if I work with a non-cell level gel, sometimes I still clear it just for me to not be worried, just for me to be able to work freely. Just like that. Gonna clear that. Or, since it's not close to each other, I don't need to clear it actually. I can go ahead and work on the area down here. So maybe doing the little one first right in the middle is a wiser choice. Going down here. On this side. Okay. You don't have to do on this side because it's right at the edge. You don't need to make the edge any bigger. If it's right at the edge. Add more gel in it. Wonderful. Nice and thick. Okay, now you can go ahead and cure this. Okay, let me zoom back out. We're done with texture gels. Both of the texture gel we're done with. Close everything up. And just a quick recap on what I use. First is this pair right here, Magnetic Cat Eye Moonlight. I really love it. It's really strong and it reacts with the magnet very well. And blood gels. Blood shading gel is a choice, but I love this for its brightness. So that is what I started out with. And then I use Shine It Top Coat. It's a diamond top coat that are non-scratch. Then I use Jet Black for the colors. This is a polish, but it's super opaque. When you apply, you have to apply thin layers because with a really thin layer, you can see the black very well. So this is a gel for polishing, but you can use it for art. It's simple enough. And then you black texture gel. Black texture gel is completely non-cell level, meaning I use it for drawing, but not normal drawing. Like if you use it to like paint like some sort of characters or like Scooby-Doo or like painted a heart shape, stuff like that, you use art gels. Art gel is for painting, but this one is for unique embossed painting, meaning it's to build. And not build really high, but to build line, building details, building small area. And it's for carving too. When you carve through it, it doesn't blend back. And it's adhere to chrome. So it's amazing gels. And clear texture gel doing the same thing. But clear texture gel is more popular than all the other colors because people love it to do like embossed seashell patterns. Where you put like clear embossed line on it. People use it for crystal application, for bead application. Just because it's clear, it have no color, it have more use. But I wouldn't use it for drawing because I couldn't see anything. So when it comes to that, like if it's drawing a spider leg, I'm not gonna use clear texture gel to draw on it and then paint it black right on the clear. It's not a good way to do it. That's why I have black texture gels. And then I add in these two together to dilute it so I can build it even higher. So that is texture gels. Then clear Play-Doh. Clear Play-Doh is way different than the texture gel. Clear Play-Doh, you can touch it. It's solid. You can mold it like clay. So that's not for drawing or for anything that the clear texture gel do. It's used to mold and sculpt. So that is a clear Play-Doh. And then, and you can use white Play-Doh to do the eyeball. But I use clear Play-Doh because clear Play-Doh is just a little smoother than all the other Play-Doh. And I just like to paint it on. Because I'm going to paint on it anyway with the cat eye and all that. So that's why you clear. And I forgot to put top coat on the eyeball and then add the vein in the eyeball. So I'm gonna do that to the spiders. I bet some of you are screaming, Tino, don't forget the top coat. And then the vein. But if you watch to the end of the video, I did discover that I missed out on that step. So I'm adding top coat now. Here, 60 seconds. And this is the red texture gels. Same with the black. Now, the reason why I use red texture gel and not like a typical paint, because number one, if you are going to paint vein on the eyes, if you like a regular paint, then you have to top coat. And when you top coat, everything is flat, so it doesn't look real. So I like to use something that I can apply on top of top coat, and it doesn't need any top coat for these gels. So it look more realistic. It look like the vein, it just pop out the eyes. It is a red texture gel that I'm using. See, this is a texture of the gel right here. See that? So now when I paint on this, on top of top coat, it look more poppy. Because if I use a normal paint, then I have to top coat it. That's number one. Number two is that when I painted these veins, the lines are really small. And the vein have little branches, like three branches that coming out. And if you use like, let's say if I use art gel, then it might be a little more cell level. And these small little line, it might be a little blendy if I work long enough. And whenever that happen, the vein, it wouldn't look thin. It'll look a little more voluminous. So it's not effective. Then texture gel will ensure that these veins will look really realistic. See that? And I'm just barely using the tip of my brush. Just like that. And maybe a line where it's like wiggle like this. This line, let's add a little branch from it, just like this. Maybe one more. Don't get too greedy. Don't get too greedy with veins. Okay. Maybe a little line right here to connect it. When you have the right material, it can be very addicting. Now, you cure and you're done. Cure for 60 seconds. After you cure red texture gels, you don't have to put top coat on it. Red texture gel doesn't need top coat. And don't forget to subscribe us at Tino Vo on YouTube, and everything that we use today is available at www.tinovo.shop. And until next time, bye-bye.